Hey everyone, this is Javi, and you are watching the Bowtie Psychic on YouTube. So, hey, and hello. I am actually doing a reading for Scorpio, especially Scorpio rising, and those who are female-bodied individuals. So, yeah, that's what Spirit told me when I actually tapped in. So, before we even get started, though, say hello to my cat in the back. But before we get started, though, I definitely want to thank you for watching the videos. I also have availability as far as reading. So if you want a more in-depth reading, you can email me at bowtiepsychic@gmail.com. So that's what I'm going to do. And so this reading is definitely dedicated to Scorpio rising. Um, and those who are female bodied individuals. And so, what I received here, and again, if this reading does not resonate with you in any way, shape, or form, that's fine. But if it does, please let me know in the comments or like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm looking very forward to, connecting with you. The first card I received for Scorpio rising in particular, in women and female body individuals, is the Mother card. What I received for this is a lot of y'all have mother energy. You have mother energy. Um, and with Taurus season coming to an end, um, you are being told to definitely not only be grounded, but as a Gemini, because I love Gemini season is coming up. So that's my season. But for Scorpio, just be aware that you're not only being told to take care of yourself, to mother yourself and to cherish yourself, but to also celebrate it. Geminis are very known for basically letting their energy be known. And so you're being asked or being told by spirit to do the same. Because it's not like a lot of Scorpios hide their true intentions. They hide their true selves. And I think this came up before. A lot of Scorpios do not trust individuals outside of a selected few. And so you're being called in this season, especially between Taurus and Gemini season, to do everything you can necessary to cherish yourself and to cherish your energy, to mother yourself and to nurture yourself as much as you nurture your friends or your family or those that are very close to you, but to also celebrate who you are, celebrate your energy, celebrate your interests, celebrate your likes and dislikes, celebrate who you are at the core, because you're so busy hiding. You're so busy, keeping yourself a secret to a certain extent, that you sometimes forget what makes you tick. You sometimes forget what makes you stronger. And so, what makes you stronger, Scorpio or Scorpio rising, is that you're being asked to, transcend your typical behavior traits as far as hiding and being secretive and not telling people who you are, or not showing certain people or showing the world your authentic self, because there's a lot about you that people don't know. And so that's what I'm getting from that particular card. You're also getting the Five of Fire, and in this card right here, Scorpio rising, there's a lot of conflict. And so what I'm getting is that this is inner conflict. It's not what people are doing to you. It's what you're doing to yourself. It's what you're saying to yourself. You're usually at odds, is what I'm getting, is that you're usually at odds with your shadow self. There is always a light being within you. We all have light beings within us, but you in particular have a lot of gifts that you don't share. Again, you don't share with the world. And as a result of that, there's a lot of inner conflict. I'm getting that since the season started, Taurus season has started. You're beginning to see some things about yourself You're starting to see some things about yourself that you are not liking. And so as a result of that, you're keeping a lot of your shadow work a secret. And so that's where the inner conflict comes from. That's where that comes from. You're doing the action necessary, or it's time for you to do the action necessary if you're not doing so, to basically to start being at peace with your shadow self, being at peace with the shadow work, being at peace with the fact that there are some inner, for lack of better terms, there's some inner demons or some subconscious things going on that you are now becoming aware of. And so rather than hide that part of yourself, again, because this is your rising sign, you're in the middle. So you're being elevated, and you're being pushed by spirit to let people know where you are, to let your shadow self show, to show itself, so people will know you're not going to be judged. The people that are going to learn from you the most are not going to judge you. The people who are going to learn from you the most are going to see you doing your shadow work, and they're going to connect with that authenticity, because that's one thing I love about shadow work, because um, it's not always dramatic, but it's not always pretty either. It requires you to be authentic with yourself first and foremost. So you're actually being told by spirit that this is literally the time for you to let things go. Again, like of all the, there's a few there's a few, maybe like 3 or 4 planets are in retrograde right now, and the one that I focus on the most is Pluto, because Pluto is the one that tells you, or is like that whole energy is forcing people to look at their shadows, to look at the shadows, to basically understand what's holding you back. And so Scorpio, you're very much being told to like come out of the dark, and show people your darkness, and not be in conflict with it, because the people who are going to learn from you are the people who are not going to judge you. Those are the people who are going to relate to what you're saying and what you're doing, and those are the people that are going to um, those are the people who are going to resonate with you to the point of wanting to either work with you or to become closer to you, and to don't be afraid of that. Um, and you also got the 5 of Earth, um, upside down. And so what this card is saying is that you are not fooling anyone by keeping secrets. You're not fooling anyone other than yourself. See, with Gemini's energy coming into full circle pretty soon, you're going to be pushed into being honest with yourself and being honest with those around you, because basically you're not fooling anybody other than yourself. You're not even fooling yourself at this point, because Taurus, um, the Taurus energy that is in this season, is it definitely told you and advised you to basically sit down and actually literally ground yourselves, do meditation work, do shadow work, so you can actually get into the nitty gritty of who you are on a spiritual level. I'm getting that there is a lot of not just secrecy, um, but a little bit of shame around showing people your vulnerability, because when I get Scorpio, I'm thinking like you often have to put out airs or put out this aura that, and this what I'm getting of when it comes to a lot of Scorpios, especially those living with the sun sign, well, with Scorpio as a sun sign rather, um, that you are to put up a front, and that a lot of you are a lot more gentle than you give yourselves credit for, but because of the world and the way it treats women, and like I said, this particular spread is for women and female body individuals. Um, it's a protection. It's like a protective mode. Um, you are to put up this front that you are strong, in that you're resilient, in that you are like a complete badass, and you would take no shit, so on and so forth. I get that, and I definitely see that, and you are all of those. But there is a whole nother side to you that you're not showing the world, and people who know better, uh, they can see through the shield, because it's one thing to be confident and self assured, and be proud of your badassery, but it's another thing to basically use it as armor in order to protect yourself from harm. And those who are in tune, very much in tune, um, to your energy and your spirit, especially those who know you, on a much more intimate level, they see what's going on. So you're really not fooling anybody. Um, especially the people that you are serving, whether it be as a light worker, or or someone in the community. You know, you're not fooling anybody by putting on this costume almost, because that's like the most inauthentic way to live. To not allow people to see all of you. Okay, I'm not saying that people need to be in your business, or things have to be deep and dark in order for people to resonate with you. But in order for people to be very comfortable with you, and for you to serve in a authentic fashion, you are to like let down some of those guards, because not everyone in the world is trying to hurt you. Not everyone in the world is trying to um, put themselves in a position to even harm you. So this card came up for Scorpio rising, especially women and female bodied individuals who are often in protective mode, basically due to trauma, due to historical and generational trauma. This is a time to do the work necessary. This is why you're being told to do the shadow work. This is the reason why you're being told to by spirit, being pushed by spirit. Um, I'm seeing that again, the Taurus is literally the tower. It's the tower. Um, this is the tower season. Pluto is a tower planet. You're being pushed out of your comfort zone, and that comfort zone requires you. Um, it literally allowed you. It didn't require. It allowed you, um, to play that message that in order for you to be safe, you are to protect yourself and your energy, and then that literally made you put out this image that you are something completely different from who you are on the inside. Um, and so, again, you are not fooling anyone, by putting up a front and putting on airs. In fact, it's the most detrimental thing you can ever do to yourself, because um, it's a protective barrier. You're not here to protect yourself at all times. You're not here to just survive. You're here to live. When you put up a protective barrier, you're surviving. And I understand why you're doing it, especially if you went through some sort of trauma, whatever that traumatic experience is, or depending on, your experiences, as far as racial issues, or um, anything pertaining to gender, or anything pertaining to capitalism or politics or whatnot. I can see our society as a whole is not our friend right now, especially with the political climate and what's going on there. But this is also the time for you to always and forever fight against that system, fight against that fear by being yourself, on a regular basis, especially for those who are looking for somebody like you, to look up for someone like you. And I know that for a lot of you, you feel like it's a tall order, but by being yourself, and showing up in every way, shape, or form, um, to the point where people can relate to you. You're literally doing yourself a great service, and it's a part of the healing process too. It's very much part of the healing process, because the moment you let those guards down, um, you know, irregardless, to what you've been through, um, you'll start to see, especially when you start manifesting a lot of what you desire, in your life, as far as friends, as far as your family, biological or chosen, your reality in general. Once you start to think a certain way and act a certain way, that doesn't require you to be in survival mode all the time. You don't have to put up this guard, and believe that you are to fool people, or to hide yourself from people at all costs, Scorpio. And you also, last but not least, you got the Father card. Um, a lot of you are fighting with Father energy. I'm getting like a lot of you are very distant or very estranged from your fathers, um, because of a lot of trauma, surrounding that energy. You feel like your fathers were not particularly there for you. This is one of the reasons why, um, those defenses are up in regards to relationships, in regards to intimate relationships, personal relationships. A lot of you are not trying to deal with men right now. Or male body individuals. A lot of you are not trying to fuck with men right now, or male body individuals, because of the trauma they have inflicted, or 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 continue to inflict in some way, shape, or form on either you or someone else. This is the time to literally heal from that father energy, that those abandonment issues, or that, like, and I'm not talking about somebody walking out of your life. There are many of us, and I'll say, many people in general, who have a father in the home, or a male figure in the home, but they're not there energetically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, um, or even financially. They're not present, and and the result of that is you feeling as if there's something wrong with you, or that you've done something wrong to cause this, and you didn't do anything wrong in any way, shape, or form. In fact, their their lack of a presence is not your fault in any way, shape, or form. What I'm getting from spirit is, a lot of those fathers, or male bodies of individuals who were in your life growing up, or who have shown up later on in life. They were pretty much the embodiment, especially those who have come later on in life. They were an embodiment of basically what was lacking in their life. You know what I mean? That's what they were. They were lacking in their life. They didn't know how to love or cherish anyone else, because no one else loved or cherished them. And so, as a result of that, when they showed up in your life, they didn't know what to do, because um, they didn't know how to demonstrate love. Because they rarely received it. And I'm not making up any excuses at all for these particular men and male-bodied individuals. But this is just an explanation as to why they could not show up in your life. They were not able to. Um, and yes, there are cis males, cis men out here, cis heterosexual men, and cis queer men, and male bodied individuals who are out here doing the most. Just because someone is, you know, not gender not conforming does not mean that they are free from toxic masculinity, or they are absolved of it. But what I'm getting, or they're above it. We're all unlearning what the society has done to us. But what I'm getting is that this is a time for you, Scorpio, to heal from that male energy and to heal, so you can move forward and not see, because what's going on is that this is one of the reasons, how you were treated by men, how you saw your friends being treated by men and male-bodied individuals. There's a reason why you don't trust men. You don't trust that energy, because time and time again, whenever that energy was present and whenever that energy showed up, it was very toxic and it was very demeaning. It was also very, very dominating. It was very much a dominant energy, to the point where it definitely snatched a lot of the liberty away from female-bodied individuals, and so there is a lack of trust. So, but what you are getting is that as Taurus energy is ending, okay, Taurus energy will be ending soon, or the Taurus season will be ending soon, and so what you're being called to do, during this season and during the Gemini season as well, is to not only start doing that work around um, male energy and how it negatively affected your life, but when Gemini energy comes through, you'll be able to, because basically, like, you're going to be communicating a lot if you don't already. So be prepared, because Geminis are known for being communicators. We are known for being teachers. You are being called to be a teacher and to use your experiences, Scorpio rising, to teach others, basically how to overcome trauma, or at least do the shadow work necessary to overcome it, because your story is extremely important. A lot of Scorpios are storytellers. A lot of them are Scorpios. A lot of storytellers are Scorpios. So this is the time for you, okay, to ground yourself and to wrap your head around what happened to you, as far as your childhood stuff, your experiences with male energy, um, especially toxic male energy. Okay, and do some work around that. This is also the time to connect with your ancestors, to connect with your spirit guides, to connect with your whole spirit team, and to ask them to help you navigate through that. If you don't have a spiritual advisor that you go to, by all means go to a spiritual advisor. At least try to. This is the time to search for one. If you're not seeking a professional help in some way, shape, or form, this is a time for you to do that as well. So you can start doing the work and navigating through that shadow work. And because when Gemini season is coming, was Gemini season comes, you're going to be compelled to talk about what you have gone through. So basically, that is all I have for Scorpio rising, especially women and gender non-conforming individuals, or female-bodied individuals. Excuse me. If you resonated with that reading in any way, shape, or form, by all means, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm also on Anchor FM, Anchor, iTunes, because I have a podcast, under the same name, The Bowtie Psychic podcast, and I do that every week. So if y'all have any questions or comments, by all means, reach out to me. If you actually want a reading, you can email me at bowtiepsychic@gmail.com until I get my website together. Um, and basically, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.